Okay, this video is going to be about law of cosines, something that you learn in the course Algebra 2 Trig, and again you talk about it in pre-calc. So you have the equation, or the formula for the law of cosines is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of a. These letters, the a squared and the cosine of a, can be switched around to b's and c's. The only thing that has to happen is whatever the equation is equal to, you have to do the cosine of that letter as well. So these two letters always have to match. When you're doing law of cosines, you need to know three different values, either all three sides, because you'd have an A, a B, and a C, or you can have two sides in a different angle. You can have angle A and the two sides B and C, or you can have angle B and know the sides A and C. So you just need to know all three values that are different, either one angle and two sides, or all three sides. So if we do an example, and I want to solve the whole entire triangle, and if it's necessary, I'm going to round to the tenths place. So I want to solve the triangle and round to the tenths if I have A is equal to 55 degrees, B is 12, and C is 7. So if you remember from geometry when you're labeling triangles, the large capital letters are the angles and the lowercase letters are the sides. So if I draw a triangle, I have A, B, and C. A is 55. Side B would be 12. Side C, opposite angle C, is 7. Side A I don't know. Angle C I don't know. And angle B I don't know. So I know angle A. So if you are given the angle, that's the equation that you need to use. Or that's the angle that you have to plug into the law of cosine. So I am going to do a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of a, because I'm given angle A, so that's what I need to plug in. So I don't know my side A, so I'm just going to plug this in. So A is going to equal, B is 12, so I'd have 12 squared, plus C is 7, so 7 squared, minus 2 times 12 times 7 times the cosine of 55 degrees. And you want to make sure your calculator is in degrees. So since I have that all equal to a squared, all I have to do is plug all of this into the calculator at once. So a squared is going to equal 12 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 12 times 7 times the cosine of 55. If you type all that in the calculator, that's what you would have. You need to make sure your calculator is in degrees because you're typing in a degree to begin with. So if I type all that in, I'm going to get that ugly number. $96.63915, and it carries on. And I need to take the square root of that because I want to find out what A is. So A would equal the square root of that. And normally if you take the square root of something to cancel out a square, you would have to put a plus or a minus, but since I have a distance, my distance can only be positive, so I'm not going to put a plus or a minus. So I want to take the square root of my answer. So I'm going to hit second, then the answer button. And I get 9.8 if I'm rounding to the tenths place. So that's what A is equal to. A is equal to 9.8. So now I know my side A. Now I want to figure out my angles. Since I know two of the same, I know my side A and my angle A, I can use law of sines to find out my angle B or my angle C. So that's what we'll do. So A over sine A, since I know both of those angles, or the side and the angle. And I'm going to find B. So I know B is 12, and angle B I don't know. So A is 9.8. Angle A is 55, so I'm going to do sine of 55 equals side B is 12. And angle B I don't know, so I'm just going to put sine in B. So you want to cross multiply. I'm going to go over here. So I would have 9.8 times the sine of B equals 12 times the sine of 55. Divide by 9.8. Sine B is equal to 12 times the sine of 55 divided by 9.8. And you need to get rid of the sine. The only way to get rid of the sine, oops, sorry, you can't see it. The only way to get rid of the sine is do the sine inverse to get your angle B. So B is going to equal the sine inverse of 12 times the sine of 55 divided by 9.8. So if I type that in my calculator, I would have this, but if I hit enter, I get a domain error. That means this triangle is not possible. Because I cannot have an angle B. It's not allowing me to have an angle B, so I cannot have a triangle that's possible. Let's do another one. Okay, I'm given angle B is 35, A is 43, and C is 19. So I'm going to draw my triangle again. A is 35, side A is 43, side C is 19, and I don't know side B. So I want to find A and C and side B. So this time I know angle B, so I need to use the equation B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of B, because I know B, so that's the equation I need to use. So if I plug in what I know, I don't know B, so B squared equals 43 squared plus 19 squared minus 2 times 43 times 19 times the cosine of 35. So I could type that all in at once and get what b squared is equal to. (43 squared plus 19 squared minus 2 times 43 times 19 times the cosine of 35. And I get 871.5056. And now I want to take the square root of that because I want to find out what b is. So b will equal the square root of that. So square root my answer. And I get 29.5 if I'm rounding to the 10th. So that's my side b. It's 29.5. Now I want to find out another angle. So if I find out angle A, you can't find out angle A or C, it doesn't matter. So I want to do A over sine A equals B over sine B. So A is 43. Angle A I don't know. So I'm filling in an A. Side B I just figured out is 29.5. And angle B is a sine of 35. So I'm going to cross multiply those. So I have 29.5 times the sine of A equals 43 times the sine of 35. Divide by 29.5. So the sine of A is going to equal .836061. But I need to get rid of the sine, so I have to do sine inverse to get A. So A is going to equal the sine inverse of that value. So again, you could type in sine inverse, which is second sine, do second negative, which is second the answer, and you get A is equal to 56.7 if I'm rounding to the tenths. And it's a degree, so I want to label it with degrees. I figured out B. The only thing I have to find now, whoops, sorry, you couldn't see half of that, is find out my angle C. So I know angle B is 35. Angle A is 56.7. And we know there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so 180 minus angle B minus angle A is going to give me angle C. So 180 minus 35 minus 56.7 is going to equal 88.3 degrees.